Hi, I'm Jessica Bolton, and this is the Daily Mirror's Jess saying. I'm here today with one of the biggest bands from the last few decades. They've sold 55 million records, had 14 number ones, and they're about to play Wembley Stadium in the first gigs there since before the pandemic. So welcome, please. It's Nikki, Mark, Shane, and Kian. It's Westlife.
Oh!
Hi, guys. Thank you for joining us today. Now, first thing first, obviously you've got these two great big gigs at Wembley Stadium, which will be the first time in 2 years that anyone's played there. What's it going to be like to get back out onto stage?
Yeah, I think it's going to be pretty amazing, to be honest, Jess. I think after everything that's happened in the last kind of, year and a half since the whole kind of pandemic started, I think, just as time has gone on, it's been tough to kind of see this coming. And now that it's kind of here and the UK have allowed, concerts to go ahead this summer, I mean, we're absolutely buzzing for it. Hopefully the fans are buzzing for it, and just to be able to get back out on stage, I think it's going to be quite an emotional night, really. Yeah. When we actually do stand on a stage and there's that many people together. Just to see people together like that again, I think is going to be absolutely incredible.
And I've got a question here from Amy saying, when are the tickets for the tour coming out? The tickets for the second Wembley date are going on sale today. And the tour is later, isn't it now? Because
to be honest, we don't have a tour at the moment because last year's tour was obviously cancelled. So we only kept the Wembley date in the UK that was rescheduled to this year. So that's night one, which is sold out. So really and Scarborough, actually, we have a show in Scarborough that's sold out as well. But apart from that, this Wembley show is the gig for us this year. This is what we're working towards now. We've no look to do any other shows in 2021 as of now, at the moment. So we hope to tour again, and if we do, it'll be more than likely deep into 2022 when the rest of the world will say is opened up as well. But I'm so excited for this one because it feels like we're putting everything into these two shows now. It also feels like it's been so long since we did the reunion tour that this is a mini reunion tour in itself. So it'd be a great night. Those 2 nights are going to be special this year for many, many reasons.
And what's it been like because you're performers, you haven't been able to do it for 18 months since all of this began. What's it like to want to have that buzz again? Is it going to be really weird to be finally up there? It must have been really annoying all this time when you couldn't perform.
I've actually been doing gigs all through lockdown, actually. Very, very intimate gigs. Intimate gigs in my kitchen.
Yeah.
The audience is my daughter, and sometimes my fiance. But sometimes, I'm one of those people that sings every single day, like regardless of whether or not I'm doing work or whatever. And so I sing in the kitchen. I put on like YouTube on the big TV and just get loads of backing tracks up, and Layla gets it at the concert whether she likes it or not. But I think she kind of likes it. It's either you either put on like Peppa Pig or Charlie and the Numbers or one of those kids cartoons. Or I have to entertain her myself by singing songs. And normally she likes it. Sometimes she might kind of start screaming as if to go, no, skip this one, go on to the next one. But that's the kind of only sense of performing I've had. But I have been singing every day in fairness. So I haven't missed singing, but I've missed the crowds, missed the reaction.
What I want to know, Mark, is can you sing the Peppa Pig theme tune in Mark's voice to Layla?
No, but I so what I end up doing is sometimes I will mute the Peppa Pig and I will do my own voiceover in a kind of a comedy way. Daddy Pig down in the basement. So I won't do the impressions there because it's probably not actually safe to do on national.
I love that, and I love that you're singing Kitchen Joke because she's only little, isn't she? She's what now, coming up to 2? Is that right?
she's one and a half very soon, so that's where she's at. But she actually sings along, and she sings along whether she loves Katy Perry, she loves the Beach Boys. They're just kind of two albums that we would have played her a lot when she's getting a bit unsettled, and they settle her right back down. But she now, I mean, you could play her any song in the world, she's just like, whatever, mate, don't care. And then you put on Katy Perry and she's like, yay!
Charming. So she's a harsh critic there for you.
Yeah.
Lindsay Shaw here is saying, who's the worst at homeschooling? Because you've all got kids now. So you've all had to, get your hands dirty and do a bit of homeschooling. Who's the best and who's worst?
I'm probably best because I haven't actually done any of it.
Yeah, I think it depends on the subjects. For me, anyway, Gillian's been doing most of the homeschooling. She's been amazing, especially with the languages. I kind of leave the kitchen when the languages come. Yeah. But if it's maths, I like doing the maths with the boys. The boys love maths, and I always loved maths in school. So I come in for them for that subject. But it's it's amazing that when you think about the children in general, what they've had to go through and stuff. And even my daughter's a lot older, and she's been more or less online schooling for the last year. Yeah. Or a few months in the middle when they went back to school, but they do full days. They do from 9 o'clock till 4 o'clock every day, and they do the regular classes. So it's amazing what the kids have done and how they've gotten through it, because it's not easy.
Because now you've pretty much got your own little mini band as well. If you can put them all together to do a bit of singing, haven't you? You can have little Westlife juniors. But I know with Layla and obviously your husband Kaylin, and that was such a happy moment for you.
You got married, Mark?
Where'd you get married, man?
I called him your husband, your partner.
Honestly, everyone calls him my husband, and I never correct him because he might as well be. We just actually haven't done the deed yet.
We haven't had the big party yet, Mark.
I've married you off. Sorry about that, Mark.
Well, that's fine. I'd happily be married if I click my fingers and be married today. I'd be grand with that.
I like that. I'm glad I haven't put pressure on you to get down on one knee now. You talked about maybe you'd want more siblings for Layla. Is that something in your mind?
Yeah, definitely. It's interesting because the pandemic and just all the various side effects of that have changed things for a lot of people for a lot of different reasons. And there's a couple of extra considerations for us in terms of our second surrogacy journey. To do with vaccinations and stuff like that. Not getting into it too much, obviously, but COVID has presented new challenges to a lot of people for a lot of different reasons, and the second surrogacy journey is something that we absolutely want to do. But we'll do it, when we're 100% confident that there's no extra risks involved. Why would we bother taking a risk? But we are actively researching, like I kind of do everything. I've done so much research, like a nerd when it came to Layla's surrogacy journey, and we are in the process of sort of researching and thinking about the second journey, but it's not quite there yet.
I bet you have a lot of volunteers who like to help out, and I know when you talked about you famously coming out in 2005, and you said that you wish you'd done it a lot earlier. Do you think it's easier for people nowadays, or has it changed in the industry?
I think it's easier for more people, but it's not across the board easier for everyone. I think basically there seems to be quite a common theme. People. I nearly put it like the further away from a multicultural city, which cities always end up being, or big towns or whatever, they always end up in melting pots of lots of different people, cultures, opinions, religions, everything. And I think that the further away from that you get, aka the rural areas, the more religion plays a part, the more devout and the more heavy it gets religion-wise, and I think that probably plays into the harder it being for, say, a lad that lives on a farm and works on a farm. It's not easy for everybody, but absolutely it's got easier for a lot of people. A lot of people, we look at TV now. Like when I was young and I looked at TV, I was like, well, there's nobody really like me on TV. There'd be a couple of people like Julian Clary, who I absolutely love. I'm not I love Julian Cleary, but I'm not like him. So if I told people I was gay, they'd think I'm like Julian Cleary, like, and that's not a bad thing. It just doesn't represent me personally, you know. And so nowadays you've got so much amazing representation. I mean, the most recent thing, which I've watched about 3 times, which is very rare to me, is you know, It's a Sin, the BBC.
Yeah, nice.
And I mean, the story that tells, first of all, is heart-wrenching, and it's going back to telling the story of a lot of people back in the 80s. It was horrific,
Yeah.
but it's just representation of young gay men and women on TV. So when the kids of today turn their TV on, they're seeing people that are just like them. They're seeing people that are just like them on TV. So it just says to the public that it's okay and everyone's cool with it.
You've played a part in that as well, which is amazing. And I know that you've been asked before a few years ago about doing Strictly. Now, obviously, Nicola Adams sort of made that record last year with being the first same-sex couple on Strictly. Is it something that you'd like to do as well as the first sort of male same-sex couple?
Well, I definitely would. I mean, first of all, I loved what they'd done this year or last year. And I would love to see a same-sex couple. I think they should just get on with it and do it, you know. I think the longer they wait, the bigger it'll become, you know.
Like a male same-sex.
Yeah, I mean, other shows have done it. And like if I had a chance to be part of, you know, a bit of cultural history and something that's really important, I think I would always consider it because, you know, it's a very special moment in history of UK TV for that to happen. But it has happened now, in fairness, you know. So I think they've done a great job and fair play to them.
Rebecca here, Keely Rebecca is saying, please can she have a shout out from you guys because it would make her day.
Hi, Keely. How are you?
Hi, Keely Rebecca. How are you?
Thank you, guys. Now, obviously, you've got other big stuff in the pipeline coming up. I hear America might be on the cards again.
Yeah. America.
Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, America is something that is kind of like Wembley Stadium, Jess. You know, it's kind of very much a bucket list thing for us as a band. And, you know, it's taken us obviously 23 years to get to Wembley Stadium, but we're here. You know, we're finally playing Wembley and we're playing it for 2 nights, which is even more amazing. And in the last couple of years, since we came back with Hello My Love and the last album, we've been away for a long time and a lot has changed in the world, obviously, with social media and stuff like that. And, you know, we've heard a lot of, obviously, stats and figures coming from America. And America is our 3rd biggest streaming figures for our music, which is something that we never knew. We were shocked by that. So in the last couple of years, since the last tour and the success of the last tour and album, you know, we've had the US promoters onto our management stuff, you know, asking them would we be interested in coming to America. And look, it's a very simple question. You know, of course we want to be there. So America is part of our plans for our next tour, whenever that may be, as Nikki said. You know, when the pandemic kind of, obviously worldwide, this is obviously not just an Irish or UK thing, it's worldwide, and we have to wait till everywhere is safe before we can go international, and we can't wait to do that. But we have plans for, you know, our biggest ever tour that we've ever done, and it's going to include America for definite, which is, you know, a massive bucket list thing for us. So we're really looking forward to that whenever it happens.
Obviously, as you mentioned, your last album, which came after your 6-year sort of hiatus or split, and then your reunion album, which has done fantastically well, and you worked a lot with Ed Sheeran on it. Obviously, the songs did great. Again, your fans are still there. Did you ever imagine that you would still be here, sort of 23 years on from when you first started back in 1998? You know, did you think Westlife will still be at the top of your game?
I actually don't think we did we, lads? I mean, like,
not after that outfit anyway.
No.
What do you think when you see these old pictures?
The type of band that we are, Jess, you know, I think when you think about the type of music that we are and the type of band that we are, you know, technically a boy band and all of that, you know, it's definitely very, very strange to think that over 20 years ago was when we released our first album, when we first started doing concerts and stuff. But I suppose things have changed a lot. You know, I think once you're still doing something that you love, and once your fans see that you're still enjoying it and you're making good music, there's no reason why we can't continue, you know. We definitely feel very lucky, I think, and very proud, even more so of the fact that we have been going for so long. And, you know, we've definitely had things obstacles in the way throughout the years. The split obviously was a big one. A few years ago, we were obviously, when we got back together, we were wondering, would the fans still be there? Or how many of the fans would still be there? And last year's reunion tour, well, not last year, the year before now, I can't remember. But that reunion tour kind of really reignited us as a band, and really reignited the want and the hunger for us as a band to kind of like continue to go and to continue to make great music and put on the best show that we possibly can, which we intend to do at Wembley Stadium at that weekend in August. The best Westlife show that anybody has ever seen is our intention. And the production that we're putting together, everything, it's full on. It's going to be absolutely incredible. So we're buzzing for that weekend.
It's going to blow everything away, isn't it? Of what you've done before. Can you? What's been your sort of best moment in the band in the history of Westlife? What would you say is the pinnacle, apart from Wembley that's coming up?
Wow. I would say for as a band, playing Croke Park Stadium is the ultimate for any Irish band. It's one of the biggest stadiums in the world. It's 85,000 people, and we got to play it 5 times. But I think on the last tour, as Cian said, the reunion for us reignited us as a band. And we really got a hunger for it again. And we all have children now, and we're in a different phase of our life, and we're a lot more mature, and we respect how massive Westlife is and what it does for our lives and our families. So to be back playing Croke Park for those 2 nights, I think was probably the 2 best gigs of our life. And probably the most proudest moment, I think, for all 4 of us as a band, looking out and just seeing that all over again, and all them fans so dedicated to us.
And obviously back in the day that you had all your, you were touring with all of the bands. It was like peak boy band, girl band time, Steps, S Club and A1 and Boyzone. There must have been some great things going on behind the scenes on some of those like smash hit tours, etc. Who did you get on with best? And is there anyone who perhaps, you might have had a run in with at any time? You can give us a little bit of...
One thing that we used to hang around with all the acts, to be honest with you, Bewitched, Steps, plenty more. Some of them are still around. Some of them have gone on to other stuff. But we used to hang around quite a lot with a bunch of Dublin lads called My Town, who basically are now known as The Script. So The Script were on one of the tours with us, and we spent a lot of time and a lot of nights in the hotel bars with those lads. And so it was lovely then, sort of, I don't know how many years later, it must have been a good 7 or 8 years later, all of a sudden, we heard this amazing new band, The Script, and then we seen pictures. It was like, that's Danny from My Town, is it? And they just obviously kind of stayed together as a team, but changed their name and their style, and obviously came back with an amazing new band.
No, I know also, as well as having fans like you've got Colleen Rooney and Wayne Rooney, Jamie Vardy and Rebecca Vardy, so that would be interesting if they both come to Wembley. You've also had the people back in the past like the Gallaghers who have said some really horrible things about you, and even Gary Barlow, who once said, I don't understand who would go out and buy their records. But I saw that you actually did a Lacuna session with him. So do you have what do you say to these people who back in the day were skeptics, but you've kind of had the last laugh?
Gary's actually a friend of mine. He's a friend of all of ours. He's a lovely guy. I never heard what him saying that back in the past. Maybe he didn't like one of our songs, maybe back in the past, and that's totally understandable. Not everybody's going to be a fan of every song. Oasis, they might have been fans of Westlife, but you got to look at it like there was a lot of people that were fans of Westlife, and a lot of famous people or non-famous people. It didn't matter to us. We just wanted to be successful. We wanted to make the best music possible, and we have a lot of good friends in the industry and stuff. And we just focus on ourselves. To be honest, Jess, we don't really focus too much on what other people say, because if you listen to critics too much, you start criticizing yourself too much. Then, so we focus on what our fans love, and that's who we make our music for. And we continue to make this new album for our fans, and hopefully we'll, maybe Oasis might like this next album. Who knows?
I hope so, because they could do with being a bit quiet sometimes, couldn't they, really?
I actually think Oasis love our music. I really do.
I reckon they do. I reckon they play.
I was saying there about Gary as well. We all know Gary's a lovely guy. So,
Yeah.
you know, I think if you ask Gary now that he knows us and listens, and the fact that we've had longevity, he probably doesn't even remember saying that and wouldn't have meant that.
Yeah.
But certainly the Oasis lads, I think they secretly play our music every morning. Honestly, I do.
I reckon they put them on their phone.
Waking up to Hello My Love every morning.
I suspect that.
If he doesn't, he should.
He should definitely.
He dances in his kitchen in the morning in a pink tutu, listening to Fly Without Wings.
I love it. Finally, how long do you envisage yourselves going on touring? Because, you know, you've got like the Rolling Stones out there. They've been doing it for years. You've been together for so long. Are we going to see Westlife, you know, keep going for the next 23 years?
That's not superimposed, by the way, that picture. That blue sky is not superimposed. It was actually really sunny that day.
That was lovely.
What was last year after the reunion tour, we had an amazing meeting actually with the promoter Dennis Desmond, and he said to us the way we should look at ourselves is like a Fleetwood Mac, you know, and kind of like take it slow. Don't, you know, just kind of like continuously just enjoy doing what you're doing. And there's no reason why a band like Westlife couldn't be going in another 20 years and playing concerts in 20 years. To just like enjoy the process, take it slow, you know, and just, so for us, it's just take it bit by bit now. I think this Wembley weekend is going to be amazing. As Nikki said, you know, we're hoping that we can tour the rest of the world in 2022. So really after that, we'll just wait and see. You know, we're going to make a new record this year as well, which is going to be a big thing for us. And we'll just take it bit by bit. But I mean, we would love to be able to say that in another 10, 15 years, we'll still be touring. Why not?
And you could do it right up to 80 because you've got the stools handy that you can just sit on.
That's some of the
doorbells. New doorbells going.
Yeah, that's my doorbell. Sorry.
Doorbell, Nikki, you can hear that.
It's Liam Gallagher. It's Liam Gallagher.
Oh, Gallagher, come around to beat you up. I love it. You're going to have a go. It's like, by the way, we've got to mention the fact that Nicky is sitting in front of his own homegrown bar, which is so impressive. I'm hoping that
all the lads have had a tipple, by the way, in this bar. They've all had a party in this bar, and they've all had different things.
Punch-ups. That's the only place you can get a pint in Ireland, Jess, is in Nicky's house.
How do you all sort of get on when you're not performing? Do you have like a little WhatsApp group, or do you? Yeah,
we have WhatsApps, we have text messages. We haven't seen each other in about 13 months physically. Honestly, we haven't been together in 13 months, but we've probably seen each other more or talked to each other more in the last week than we have for the first 5 years of the band.
I love it.
We're always talking. It's great.
I'm getting a little message from your people, so we're gonna have to say goodbye because I know you've got to dash off. But thank you so much for joining us today, guys. It's been brilliant, and I can't wait to see Wembley. It's going to be awesome. 2 nights there, historic gigs, first back for 2 years, and tickets on sale today. So thank you very much, guys.
Thank you, Jess.
See you soon.
Thank you, everyone.